Welcome back, nap trappers.
Hey,
it's been a while.
Yes, Sally, you've been off. You've been unwell, and we have missed you. We have missed
Life
you.
has been lifing pretty hard, but I am back, and we've just recorded Sleep Detectives. We are in flow. We have a lot to say, and it actually feels so good to be back.
Yeah, definitely. I have missed our little powwows because who else do I get to chat baby sleep with on the regular? Aside from my clients, of course.
I was going to say, apart from all the families and the DMs and the emails we get, but it's nice to chat sleep consulting.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Plus all the other life chinwags we have.
I know. We are work wives and...
We are work wives.
Yes, and sleep besties, as like I say to my husband. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for holding down the fort. And thank you, listeners. I mean, I say that as if anyone noticed that we didn't release 2 episodes last week, but maybe I was like,
I actually think that there was some people sort of go, are we, eek, help. I haven't had my daily dose or my weekly dose, so we are back. We've got limbered up vocal cords, so watch out.
Exactly. And today's episode, we're actually going to do almost a mini consult, a little case study, but this is based on a Sleep Detectives question that came through in my DMs that is it has a lot of things for us to talk about whilst also not being too complicated, if that makes sense.
This is a hard one for us because the deeper we go, the more complicated it becomes. So we're just going to try and simplify it. But I do have a tendency to sort of start really digging deep and really
especially
spiraling.
Because we haven't, I told you the age and the rough outline, but you might say, Sally, WTF are you going to suggest? And we might, who knows, this could go very south very quickly.
We might have a battle.
I know, work wives, our marriage is on the line here. Yeah. But I'll read the question also. I can always be buttered up. What's the saying?
Buttered on both sides?
Something. As in, the way to my heart to get your question answered was a P.S. Love the pod.
Oh.
Will be bought with words of affirmation. Thanks, Elle. So this was a Sleep Detectives question. What would an ideal schedule for a 7.5-month-old on 3 naps be? 2 times solids, lunch and dinner. Eating lots, then finding breastfeeds, especially 6:30 p.m. Not as interested. Is that normal? Also do a 10 p.m. dream feed and a 3 a.m. feed, which I have been slowly reducing the amount to drop. If it's a full feed at 3 a.m., baby's not hungry at 7. But if it doesn't have enough, then they get an early rise. Do I need a schedule adjustment? Naps are 9:30 till 10:30, 12:45 till 2:30, 3 o'clock, 5 till 5:30, and the solids are at 11:30 and 5:30. And then, thank you, P.S. I love the pod.
Oh, we'll answer your question anytime.
We'll answer it. It's actually a really good question. I think there's actually a lot of great elements in place. This, I think, the reason why this spoke to me as something for us to talk about is it is the perfect example. First of all, most common age group that we both work with are 6 to 9 month old babies. The amount of questions we get about 7.5 month old babies, you are so not alone. I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes one of our more popular episodes because it's a tricky age and stage. But this is, I think, what I hope is that as you hear us discuss how we would tackle this, is that there is so much more to this than sleep training.
Yeah, than meets the eye.
And this is just, exactly, and this is just what we're going to take away from this DM versus a whole intake form. But it'll give you an idea of how we work as we dissect this. Because there are lots of sensible, good sleep knowledge elements in place.
Yeah. 100%.
So, where to start?
Okay.
We can start with
the naps?
Timings?
Yeah, timings for naps. So, essentially, when we get to this age, well, you and I both work, if we've got families coming to us, we're working heavily on creating optimal sleep pressure. We're working on creating optimal appetite and so forth. But initially, when I heard the schedule, the things that popped out to me straight away were the timings of the naps and how we would sort of structure those to support better nights in terms of creating enough sleep drive to keep forging ahead in that, particularly in that first half of the night.
Yes.
And to be able to keep a third nap in, because for a lot of families at this age, the biggest factor for dropping to 2 naps is not being able to keep the third nap in because it's getting harder and harder. So we really are carefully curating the day in terms of having enough sleep in the right spots to go down well rested, but keeping that third nap in for as long as possible. So for me, the naps would change. So I would have nap 1 at 9:30 till 10:15, so a 45-minute nap there. That takes the pressure off having to try and resettle and extend and so forth. So we're just getting a nice punchy 45-minute nap in the morning. Then 2.5 hours later, going down for nap 2. So that will land at 12:45. And we want baby to be up by 2:15 at the latest. At this age, we're aiming for a gap of around 2 hours 45 between the end of nap 2 and the start of nap 3. We need to create pressure. We need lots of awake time for them to burn a lot of energy and be ready and tired enough to go down for nap 3 easily. So nap 3 would start at 5 till 5:30, just a quick 30-minute
Which
nap.
is what they've got.
Exactly.
Yes, and then their bedtime is currently 7. We're going to do bedtime at 7:30 off a 5 till 5:30 nap.
Correct.
I think what's really important is that particularly when you've got some wakings overnight, which, 7.5-month-old, absolutely, we might be working with a baby that we end up with still a feed in the mix. But when you're wanting to make change overnight and you have some wakings, we have to look at sleep totals in the whole 24 hours. So this baby clearly has some great skills. If they're smashing out a 12:45 till 3 nap, and then backing it up with a 5 till 5:30, and then into bed at 7. And I'm assuming there's no mention of bedtime battles, can't self-settle, false starts, any of that. Then this baby has some sleep skills.
Loves their sleep.
Hence why this is for me already less about sleep training.
Yeah.
But when we are trying to figure out how, do these overnight wakings or the dream feed when we're maybe looking at moving away from that and what's causing what, how can we give sleep pressure back to the night, particularly when there's an on again, off again early rise? So where does the sleep get distributed across 24 hours? At the moment, there's a chunk going to the day with smaller wake window as the afternoon goes on. And then we've got early rise, we've got a 3 a.m. waking, and there's something happening around 10 p.m.
That's correct.
And I imagine there's probably fear around getting rid of the 10 p.m. feed. And so in order to, before we even get there, that's why we emphasize capping your nap timings. And it could very well be that this baby is rocking this at the moment, and in 2 days' time, oh, hang on, 5 till 5:30 doesn't want to go down because they woke at 3 o'clock from that big juicy nap. And so this is what you and I do. We future-proof the families. We want to keep that third nap in to protect bedtime, to protect what you're going to do overnight in terms of the feeds and wakings and early rise. To get there, we need to cap those nap timings.
And it's also really important to have the decent awake time, like we just mentioned before, to burn energy, for our little ones to be on the floor, to be playing, to be doing their tummy time, to be practicing rolling, to be pushing up to crawl, all those sorts of things. And if they do love that, it's not uncommon to have babies of this age who just love to sleep. And it just feels like they can
go. My first baby, yeah.
Yeah, they can go down anytime, anywhere, and it's no drama. But at some point, what will start happening is somewhere along the lines, they just don't have the ability to burn the energy that they need to through the day, and then they're going to start making up for it overnight. So the future proofing is really important, and that's why we do the capping. Initially, I think the listener the question is around the 6:30 milk feed, and I think from memory that's the problem. I think that she's sort of focusing on that being a problem. Is that correct? Like,
What is the ideal
crux?
schedule for the 3 naps?
Yeah.
But then the sort of like sub issue is that there's eating lots and then finding breastfeeds, especially the 6:30 p.m. not as interested, and is that normal? And then the additional feeding context is that there's then a 10 p.m. dream feed and a 3 a.m. feed, which she's trying to wean, but then gets hit with early rising if it hasn't been a complete feed. But then when it's a complete feed, 7 a.m. gets impacted. And just like we were talking about how sleep totals, we look at the whole 24-hour picture when we look at calorie distribution. And this, you and I, people, I don't know if they quite get how much this is a part of our job. Like, it's huge. Calorie redistribution. So that nothing is happening cold turkey, there's no doubt about hunger overnight. We can reduce the sort of crutch of a dream feed if you're looking to get rid of it, and balance, because it is this constant dance that we need to do between great milk feeds, great breastfeeds in this case, and age-appropriate solids. The other thing is that with that timing of the 5 to 5:30 nap and a 7 p.m. bed is that we are then doing dinner and a breastfeed 1 hour later. On our schedule, we would be doing it an hour and a half, which may not seem like a lot, but if we've balanced the amount of solids at dinner, that is increased time to build genuine appetite for that really important final breastfeed before bed. So if we've got 9:30 till 10:15, 12:45 till 2:15, 5 till 5:30, and a 7:30 p.m. bed, our milk feeds are going in 4-hourly. So we're doing 7 a.m., 11, 3, and that 30 minutes before bed, which is 6:30 p.m.
7 p.m. on this particular schedule.
Oh, sorry. Can you tell I'm reading the numbers and saying sorry? And I just mansplained it, and I didn't even listen to myself. 7 p.m.
Yes, correct.
7 p.m. I'm reading all the numbers in the message as we go. So the 30 minutes prior to bed. The lunch solids are then going to go in at, 11:30?
Yeah, and maybe just like a little note to add is when we're talking about full feeds, to us they are 2 complete breasts, or they are a full feed for a 7-month-old. 180 to 240 mils would be a complete full feed for us, like if you were feeding from the bottle.
And if you work in ounces, that's about 6 to 8 ounces.
Yeah.
And then solids at
11:30?
11:30, and then 5:30 when they wake up from nap 3.
The amount of solids that you offer is super, super important because there's 2 reasons to bear this in mind. One, we need enough calories to support a growing baby to be able to start sleeping longer stretches overnight. And 2, we always want to be mindful that milk is the main nutritional element at this age as well. So we need enough food to get them to do the longer stretches, but not so much that they won't take their milk feeds. And so this is something that crops up a
Which
lot.
happens.
Yeah, all the time. This is
Exhibit
really,
A,
really common. Yeah. And so I think what we try and focus on as you and I is we have a big window of time in that first section of the day. If we're doing lunch at 11:30 and our next milk feed is due at 3 p.m., we do an 11:30 lunch because we can fuel our babies up at this time. We can offer all the new foods. We can tank them up if they love what they're having. They can eat as much as they like because they have the ability to digest their food and create an appetite ready for the 3 p.m. milk feed, which won't be impacted. So they'll be able to take a nice big full feed then. Our bugbear is that when we are doing dinner, we are playing around with fire because we are putting dinner in before our milk feed is due an hour and a half later. So the key at this point in time is just to keep it really simple. We're offering, while we're trying to increase our milk feed before bed, we are really limiting how much dinner we are offering at that particular time. And we kind of do this short term. It's not a long term thing, but we offer a smaller amount of dinner so that then the milk comes back in at bedtime. And then once that settles in and baby is used to taking nice big full feeds again before they go down, then we can start adding more and more dinner in slowly and build the calories in that way. So that's really important. So I think the big thing for this particular listener is just to pull back on dinner, like really, really pull back, bring the milk back in. But also the other consideration too is that overnight there are 2 big feeds. Like there's a dream feed going in at 10:30, plus there's another feed around 4 o'clock. So those 2 feeds are likely to be impacting baby's appetite during the day. And so there may be a chance then that this mum is experiencing the 7 a.m. milk feed not being that great to start the day. And then so as the day goes on, it sort of filters through and whatnot. But I mean, we've got a dream feed in this scenario, which I don't deal with dream feeds now, but I definitely used to in the past. But I understand why they're there. And for this particular parent, I can see that she is considering dropping the 3 a.m. milk feed, which seems crazy. Like it seems crazy. Like, why would you keep the dream feed and drop the 3 a.m. milk feed? But the essence of a dream feed is to support the ability to start sleeping longer stretches over the course of the night. But if you have kept a dream feed in the mix for as long as you have, you actually really need to be like really pushing hard now to start filtering that feed, that 3 a.m. milk feed later and smaller and later and smaller until eventually it's gone and the actual dream feed is working for you. If you still have a feed and if you've still got these 2 feeds in at this particular age and you've started your solids journey, I would argue that maybe it's not worth continuing with the dream feed and actually you may want to employ what we would typically do. And Sally, I'll hand over to you, which,
Can you tell I'm like busting to say
like,
what I would do?
Yeah, itching.
Ditch the dream feed. We're going to ditch the dream feed. I'm so excited for this family. The hold on a family that a long-term dream feed has. I'm not anti-dream feed. But it's a sense of stability and control that then isn't doing what it's supposed to do. The dream feed, particularly at this, like it should be getting you almost all the way through.
And technically, it should be ditched by the time you start solids. And I think we've done a podcast episode, which you're definitely welcome to listen to. But
it's so psychologically tricky to do that.
Yes, 100%.
That's the power of the dream. Am I saying it right? Like the
hold that it has.
The grip that it has on parents.
It's
because
a
for me,
safety net.
Yeah. Because yes, you might have you've a lot of calorie redistribution there's an element of trial and error. Okay, how many tablespoons at dinner is too much? Oh gosh, no. A 7 p.m. breastfeed was a little bit impacted. We can pull right back. If you have a full complete feed at 10:30 at this age, we don't have a lot of wriggle room. Developmentally, the average 7.5-month-old baby can go all night without a feed.
Yeah.
if a parent wants to keep one in and we've got it in the early hours of the morning, no drama, not impacting 7 a.m., cool. But you've got 2, and then every time you try and get rid of the second feed, your mornings are either your 7 a.m. feed is impacted or your early rising is impacted. Let's move the dream feed.
Mm-hmm.
Because what will ultimately happen is that dream feed will no longer be a dream feed. You will have nudged it out, and then you will be left with one feed at 2 or 3 a.m., which you can then start whittling down, and it will not impact 7 a.m. because 7 a.m. is being impacted because there's a feed before. It's not just about the 3 a.m. feed.
Yeah.
It's the calories across the night, which then, as you were saying, Beck, actually does sort of infiltrate to hunger during the day at this age. So here's what I would do. in its simplest form is I would anchor in your 4-hourly milk feeds during the day. I would get your big lunch in at 11:30, and I would probably start by offering half of that as dinner solids. And again, there is always an awkward trial and error, but it's a usually safe bet to start with. I then want dinner to be incredibly safe. No fancy foods, no gassy ingredients.
Yep.
We want to know that if we have a waking or anything that happens in that first half of the night is not digestion, keep it so simple. Get that final breastfeed in, get to bed. Sounds like this, but as we talked about, can self-settle, can link multiple sleep cycles. You're then going to not offer the dream feed. We're going cold turkey here, folks, but with a plan, because one of 2 things will happen. Baby will wake at 10:15 and say, excuse me, isn't this about this time 15 minutes ago that I'm usually topped up? Something happens here and something has changed. I'm going to wake up. In which case, I want you to resettle that. I want you to resettle until your baby goes back to sleep, because you know they have just eaten and drunk so beautifully throughout the day. This is not genuine hunger. You then feed at the first waking after they've gone back to sleep, which is, my guess, is going to be closer to midnight. Yeah. Maybe. In which case, look how much further they could go without the grip of the 10 p.m. dream feed. So then you've automatically dropped the dream feed, and then you've got a 12 a.m. If we work to 4-hourly day feeds, we can mirror that overnight. Okay, great. We've gone to midnight. Now we're going to say the next waking 4 hours after that, I can offer the world's smallest feed after 4 a.m. If it's 5 a.m., it's a sip. It's a latch and unlatch. Just to take the edge off. You are so close. 7 a.m. is not going to be impacted. It may be a bit clunky, but look, we got there. 7 a.m., bang, amazing breastfeed. And already the day is tanking up versus catching up overnight. Yeah. Then the next night, you go in and say, okay, I know baby can go through until 12. You say no feeds before 12. Even if they still wake at 10:15 and then 11:15, you resettle until they go back to sleep. And then at this age, baby's going to wake at 12:45. Yeah. In which case, we're at 4:45, if at all. Maybe they then wake at 5:30. You and I traditionally will not offer a feed at 5:30 because it's so close. You'll just resettle until 7. Bang, the buffet is opened. And you've just dropped a feed. You've just dropped a feed. I'm telling you, this could happen in 3 nights.
And that's how the redistribution goes, because if you've had, babies fed at 12:45 and then woken at 5:30 and we've held off, 7 o'clock rolls around, that feed is huge. Now,
it's so good. It's so satisfying.
More calories in the tank going into the day and throughout the remainder of the day, that now baby is going into bedtime with so many more calories under their belt than they did the night before, which allows you that confidence to then start resettling more and more and more. And typically, we see this all the time, don't we, Sally, where we think our little ones are going to wake, we'll do the resettle and we think, they're going to wake 45 minutes later, but they don't. Instead, you might resettle until 12:15 and you're thinking they're going to be awake bang on 1, but they don't wake until 4:30. And
It happens all the time.
all the time. And it's mind blowing because in that moment, your baby has just told you where their genuine hunger related waking lies.
Yes.
And so you have to have these moments where you're always pushing the friendship just a little bit to get to actually what's going on. But you can only do that when you feel really confident, right? And so this is the whole point of a discussion like
of your
this
day work.
is like, how do you find the confidence to resettle? And we're giving you a blow by blow prescription on how you would do it at 7.5 months. So, but also it's one of those things too, like the moment you start reducing your calories overnight at this age, you can start putting a little bit of solids in at breakfast time. So what you take out, you put back in through the day. So you're never actually losing anything. It's just the redistribution. And that's what we can't highlight enough for our listeners is that like you hear, like we are, the majority of our work is redistribution. Like we are redistributing sleep totals, sleep pressure, calories, and that's how we find sleep starts to sort of change for the better.
And I think having done it for so long, because I appreciate it could still potentially feel intimidating that, okay, even if they have fed so well, I've never had to resettle in the first half of the night. And now taking away the dream feed, what if it takes 2 hours? Like, what if it was genuine hunger? We have done this so much that if you have those day feeds and those solids in, 10 p.m. is not going to be genuine hunger.
Well, I think you've already done the hard work. So the idea behind the dream feed is teaching your little one to be able to sleep for much longer stretches. If you sort of reverse it, say if your baby's been waking at 10 and then they're not waking until 3 or 4 for that feed, then that is almost 6 hours where they haven't needed a feed. So you can reverse that and sort of go, okay, well, from bedtime, the next
for
6
the first
hours.
Half of the night.
So,
and often with families, I'll even though I know in my head, I'm like, oh my God, they can totally go till 2 a.m. Like if you just reset it, we don't have to do that. That's gung ho. We don't have to do that. I'll just say we're going to work to no feeds before 11.
Oh yeah, we work in stages. We always work with our families and their comfort levels.
Because then that feels achievable.
Yeah, 100%.
And then babies respond so quickly. Honestly, they will shock you. And I have just finished a 2-week package with a 6.5-month-old who was feeding 3 to 6 times overnight. And they had been told to just go purely cold turkey and do straight cry it out. And what that left mum with, first of all, it didn't quite sit right. It didn't give her any tools for, oh, hang on, it worked really well for 3 nights, but now there's crying. I can't be certain there's no hunger.
Yeah.
So a feed comes in and then there's another waking and then it all just gets messy and doubt. Doubt is what creeps back in, doubt and inconsistency. So by following this sort of more staggered approach, whilst always moving forward, we actually are working with a baby's natural hunger patterns and with an age-appropriate grain because it just takes one night where, let's say, we resettle 10:15 and baby doesn't wake until 12 and then doesn't wake until 5:30, as opposed to this 10 and 3, 10 and 3, 10 and 3 back and forth, that you as the mother and the feeder think, oh my goodness, it all makes sense. Oh my goodness, of course, he doesn't need a feed before 12. He just did that. Yeah, it was a bit of a tricky resettle. No one, we haven't had to do that in so long, but he just went back to sleep until 12 and then he didn't wake until 5:30 and I didn't offer a feed and he's back on the breast at 7. It all just starts to fall into place. And those are the empowering moments where the knowledge that we're hopefully sharing, and I'm clearly passionate about it in this case, starts to land. You're like, it makes sense. Okay, great. I know what my baby's capable of. I know what I'm capable of in terms of, I know the difference when that 7 a.m. feed starts to feel really good. Oh my goodness, they fed so well across the day. Definitely feel good about 10 a.m. It's when everything is a bit inconsistent that you may actually think 10:15, could there be hunger? Baby didn't take that last feed. I think dinner was too much.
Mm-hmm.
and then the feed comes back in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's so normal and common. Like, there's nothing wrong or bad. It's human.
It's
It's human.
and it's okay. And it just means
It's
that,
so okay.
yeah, it's, there are times when it's going to happen where you sort of take a little bit backwards moment because you've lost confidence or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But your baby is going to be able to get back on that wagon super quickly and super easily once you're confident again and you've got that really clear expectation around the sleep. Also, you know, we're scheduling here and we're redistributing and all the things, but you know, the other important element that we really need to touch on would be the sleep training side of things and
Yep.
how consistent and persistent and how you follow through and creating the really clear goalposts and
Yep.
and maintaining your confidence around offering the opportunities to settle using a technique, because you know it wow, we make it sound so easy, Sally. Don't like if
Oh, you just
so,
resettle,
yes, you resettle and you feed and you just do a little tiny dinner here and oh my gosh, all of a sudden it's all hunky-dory. But there is work involved as well, and
Oh,
you know,
totally.
and the
And
sleep
baby's
training
not in on the plan.
not in the plan.
Baby's not like, oh yeah, I ate so well. I don't want that, as you would say,
Yeah.
like that Tim Tam at 10:15.
Yeah.
No, I would still like that. But also, if you haven't had I don't know, this baby has great self-settling, as we've already said, and can link sleep cycles beautifully day and night. I'm not sure if there has been some formalized sleep training that has happened that has got them these great skills. If you did use a sleep training technique originally, let's say at 5 months you sleep trained and it's worked beautifully, then that is the technique I would probably look to go back to. That you know, if I say no feeds before 11, which I sound like such a jerk, no feeds before 11, um, and then there's a waking at 10:15, you use your sleep training technique.
Mm-hmm.
If you have been rocking to sleep and you just don't want to do the feed, then you rock whatever is going to get this baby back down that you can sustainably see through and is productive for the age and temperament.
And it's about committing. There is, if you have committed
Yeah.
to a resettle, you are committed to the resettle until they go back off to sleep, and then
And
you
it
offer the feed.
it may cross over 11
Mm.
p.m. And I think this is what I'll always pregame my clients with is, okay, we're saying no feeds before 11. If baby wakes at 10:15, and they've had the day that we've planned and the calories and all the things, then this is a matter of resettling until they go back to sleep. I have never not had a baby that has not gone back to sleep, and then either, okay, if they wake 5 minutes after, great, you feed them. But usually they do it at least 45, if not 2 hours plus.
Mm-hmm. This is correct.
In which case, I'm like,
happy
yes,
days. Yeah.
this is what I know is possible.
Yeah.
But it's so tricky to see the potential when you're in the thick of it.
Yeah, that's right.
And when you've relied on the dream feed for so long.
Especially for families who, you know, a lot of their sleep challenges are things like, you know, linking naps and getting naps into the cot and, you know, and like they are big issues that seem really hard to overcome. And then you're starting to sort of put different feed schedules and so forth in overnight and, you know, can compound. And that, you know, we always go back to, we do things in manageable chunks. So that's why, you know, if we're working with clients, we'll work on the nights first. We don't even look at the days and settling. And we always go back to how we will get everything looking schmick first, and then we start working on the days. So it's not super overwhelming. And even though you feel like, and I just get a little sense from this particular listener is the issue that they were feeling like it was, you know, that little bedtime issue, like the 5:30 to 7 o'clock, and like, yes, that is their issue, but actually the bigger picture is the whole 24 hours just needed a rejig rather than just that one specific moment in time. So it's good for families if they are a little unstuck. If you listening are a little unstuck, having someone get eyes on what it is that your day looks like, and hopefully by listening to us, even though it sounds complicated, you literally get a little plan of like tweaks, like it's just tweaks.
Yeah.
And those small tweaks add up to massive big wins, which then emphasize better nights, better days, better feeds, better sleep pressure, all the things. But having someone get eyes on it just to tell you exactly what it is that you need to do just takes that, it's effortless almost from your end.
Totally. And all of my passion, I hope it is not misinterpreted as like, this is what you're doing wrong. Far from it. It's like,
no.
This is how good it gets to be.
Yeah.
There is a pick me. I know what to do. I've got the answer.
Yeah.
It's such a great age. You've still got 3 naps. This is less about the sleep training. Yeah, we might need to like have a technique up our sleeve because, you know, baby's you got to be prepared for a resettle or a waking. The other thing to note is that, and I just experienced this with the lovely mother that I've just finished a 2-week package with the 6.5-month-old. And we had to do a similar. So we've gone from the 6 little micro feeds to we went in with our 2. And then what do you know? Baby slept until 4:40. We then had a tooth come through and food was sort of, the baby was less interested during the day. And understand we were both asleep at the same time. And so then there was a 2 a.m. waking that appeared, and Mum understandably was like, oh, maybe this is hunger. Fed, whatever, no drama. This is the beauty of working with a sleep consultant, particularly over 2 weeks, because these human normal moments that happen to everyone, we then discuss in the morning of like, okay, no big deal. So tonight, this is what you might experience and why. And then do you know what inevitably happens? And this mum did, she's like, I know exactly what I need to do. I know I need to, like, I know for 3 nights he went until 4:40. I know he doesn't need the feed at 2, but I know that I brought it back and I understand why. Like, again, no drama.
Yeah.
It's the knowledge of how and why and, yes, this happened because then when we sign off, you are so well equipped when these moments do happen, when there is sickness, when there is a tooth, and you know how to get back on track and you can think, yes, this happened because.
Yeah. And that happens from the discussions. Like that happens, you learn so much along the way, which is a testament to the importance of hiring someone that is going to explain the why. So it's because once you know the why, you have the tools, like you were just saying. Like the why is just so important. You can follow steps on any guide and just do them. But when it crops up again and you're like, but I followed the steps last time, like how can it be back? You know, like you just, the understanding of sleep and why things happen the way that they do is game changing.
Yeah, because you as the parent, as the caregiver, you are human. Babies do not follow our plans, Beck. Babies do not follow plans.
Although sometimes it feels like they're listening in the consoles, and then they're like, and then they're like, sometimes sweet, I'll do that.
Or if I have to be like, okay, tonight is we need 10 out of 10 consistency. To right this ship. Otherwise, we're going to keep sort of sitting in this grey area. And then I'm sure that baby's like, oh, they're talking about me. Fine, I'll sleep. I'll sleep so much better. Like, good. Yeah, listen. But I think that's also, you know, when we work over 2 weeks, we do it over 2 weeks for a reason because moments like this, like we had a fever and a tooth across this 2 weeks. And we just adjust and pause and go with it because that's life. It's never going to be perfect. There's never no such thing as a perfect day. It's about having the tools of what to do whilst being supported so you aren't tempted to throw in the towel.
That's right. The cheerleader, the hand holder, the support.
Yes. So I hope that's coming through to Elle.
Yeah.
Because this is a great age and you drop the drip feed.
Yeah, for sure.
Push just it all out. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, this was a great little discussion. I love doing these little case studies because I I mean, when I'm listening to you, Sally, talking about sleep, that I can hear the passion in your voice and all the things, and I would imagine, hopefully, with my droning on, people will understand that I feel the same way. And it's just the amount of families that we get to help on a daily basis and turn their lives around, and that's like no word of like an exaggeration. Like that is the buzz that we get from hearing families who are just constantly saying, we just didn't realize how impactful the sleep work was going to be on us in so many different areas. So this was a really great chitty chat.
And so achievable. And look, what did we saved the actual technique got 2 minutes of airtime.
Oh, yeah.
It's not about that. It's not about that. This is, and I'm sure it'll resonate. There'll be a variation on a theme for so many listeners. And you're so close. You're so close. Redistribute sleep totals, redistribute calories. Oh, and can I just say, if there's a 3 a.m. waking, can we just make sure baby's warm enough? All right, Beck. See you later. Bye.